Hello everybody and welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 series, where this will be the final episode of this series. We started out as a Count in Desmond down here, grew to become the King of Ireland, grew to take over all of England, and since then have taken over Iceland as well as the majority of Scandinavia. My initial goal with this series was to finish it once we got the Empire of Britannia, which we renamed to the Empire of Ireland here. However, the series was doing well, people seemed to enjoy it, so I continued to expand and to press forward. We will continue to do that today, but once this series wraps up, we will begin a brand new series exploring everything that is new in Crusader Kings with Chapter 4. To finish this episode, we will finish as we started, which is Conquest. We're going to try and work our way into Sweden, take over as much of Scandinavia we can before we wrap this up. Odrin currently 60 years old and in poor health. He is currently ill. He was ill previously during the battle for Norway and Denmark. He managed to get over that, thankfully, but he is back ill again. When we have a look at succession, you can see things are getting split rather drastically. So our primary heir here, Victor, will inherit the empire as well as the Kingdom of England. Our other son, however, will get both Ireland and Norway, and the remaining son will get Wales. So things will split in a very interesting manner. We haven't had the realm split like this in this series before. Maybe Odrin will die today, maybe he won't. We'll have to see. You'll see a lot of UI changes here as well with Chapter 4. So now each of our court positions are split out like this, and they all have their individual different jobs and roles that we can give them here, which I think is a very nice touch. You'll also see that if I right-click on anybody, so for example, if I was to right-click on you, you can see the new UI changes around diplomacy, personal, everything's nice and grouped, as well as a whole host of other changes to how war works, and lots of other newness added. But like I said, we'll get into that in the next series, which we will start up. If you have any ideas for that, feel free to leave them in the comments below. As for today, let's get our court filled out and then see what comes next. High Chieftain Sinwolf of Leinster here has challenged us to single combat for the Earldom of Dublin, and we have agreed. Even though he is 45 years old and in great health and we're 60 and ill, we're still going to show him what we're made of. We're going to start off with a blow from the mace and a kick to the gut. We're going to Harari him with a furious onslaught, and we have won. Look at Odrin, 60 years old, still beating men much younger than him while he is ill. We are victorious. He gains the trait Wounded, and that is that settled. We're back on the throne now. We decided not to put any of our clothes back on, so we're still just topless, hearing from our vassals. They want to build a new city in Kent for 320 gold. We are currently drowning in gold, so I'll say feel free. There we go. My business here is done. What I've been talking about for many episodes, and we can finally do now, also, is adopt feudal ways. I did mention we'd wait until we got the rest of Scandinavia here, but while it will hurt our troop count, it shouldn't be so bad that we can't continue to go to war with them, and I would hate to finish this series without adopting feudalism since I've spoken about it so much. So we're going to pass absolute tribal authority, and then we're going to adopt feudal ways. There we go, we've adopted a feudal government, our tribal holdings will become castle holdings, all of our tribal vassals will change to feudalism, and we gain a new legend seed. Long live Ireland. So after that change, you can see that our total levies have changed rather significantly, bringing our total soldiers down to about 10,000 men. But it's all good. We do have the quality behind us, which is the most important thing. We can also see new things up here, such as the ability to automate your armies now, such that they can fight essentially on their own. You can give them different settings to do so as well. But I'm doing my best not to dive into the new features here. I want to explore them all fresh in the new series. For now, though, we're going to wait a bit. We're going to try and get our total soldiers up, especially now since we have less of them. And then we'll go to war up here in the north, try and get the rest of these duchies down while we wait for the truce with Sweden to decay. Seeing as though we're still in the martial tree, we have learned about a man called the Enemy of Rome, Hannibal Barca, who was a master of Fabian tactics, giving us the new trait of logistician. I am really hoping we manage to overcome this sickness somehow. I can't yet. We're still on cooldown. I would love to move into the learning lifestyle here and go down whole of body, try and buy Odrin a few more years, but let's see. Yes, we've lost the trait ill. I'm glad to be well again. We should have a few more years left in us for a few more wars. We do have another faction brewing here. Independence and the Kingdom of Norway. Independence is largely because of the fact that I am now on limited crown authority, so I can also have the ability to revoke titles, and I would very much like to revoke who is holding Mercia here, because she is insular, can't believe that's still around, as well as Anglo-Nordic. However, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to revoke this title because she, somewhere along the lines, got title revocation protected in her contract. Now, I could take this off, it would be tyrannical, but I could lower feudal levies and then it wouldn't be. However, we can only change the vassal contract once for each character. So, unfortunately, while she's in prison, she does still also hold this title. So, rather than waiting, I think instead what I may do is I may negotiate her release and demand her conversion, which should at least help along the religious side of things. Having a look down here, it looks like France is actually still waiting for us over here to help them in this northerner conquest. We will help them. Why the hell not? We will raise our men over here, send them across the channel. Ooh, another inspiration has been realized, and we've got another illustrious ornament. This is Louis's shield here. I think this is the second purple that we've ever gotten, actually. Let's make sure that we hang this up straight away. You can go over here, and there we go. The men have also landed and recently disembarked is finally gone, so we're going to march over here to attack these northerners. There we go, first battle since becoming feudal. Oh, and the second that I launch it, the Danish Asturians want to rebel against me. I'm going to say, you want freedom, you'll have it in death. Which means that the second we deal with this war, we'll be heading over to put down a rebellion. Thankfully, that defensive war with France wasn't too bad at all. Let's head over and have a look at... Holy, okay, that's a few of them. Now, they should be relatively weak in quality, but we're going to send the men over straight away to deal with them and see if we can get some allies in here. We just helped France, so we'll get France to help us, and we'll call Aquitaine in as well, just in case. This should be absolutely fine. The only real concern is if they group up and just have overwhelming numbers, but so long as we keep them split like this, it should be okay. Okay, the men are just about to arrive here. Unfortunately, my fear of the rebels grouping up has happened, but let's see if we can attack them. We do have recently disembarked. They do as well, but they also have more numbers than us. I am going to attack anyway, though. I think we have the quality that should help us deal with this. We have a few allies around the place that may jump in. I think this will be okay. Yep, just about. So we no longer have that strong numeric advantage, but we do have a nice amount of quality. Sending the men over to deal with the last of the rebels now. Frustratingly, Sweden is super weak at the moment. However, we also still have a peace treaty for another about 3 years, which hopefully Odrin can make it to. I really want to try and get him into the learning path as soon as I can. But we're also on cooldown with that, and we'll need to wait until 953. Oh, only a year, actually, so maybe we'll be okay. There we go. That is the rebels dealt with. We will enforce demands here and disband all. As per usual, we will execute the leader of this rebellion. Now, my legend here is already mythical quality, spread in 318 baronies. I would like Odrin to get to finish it during his own life. We could let it spread further, but it would also be nice to get some of the gold that we're spending per month, currently 16, promoting it, back into our coffers while we build up our infrastructure. So I'm going to complete this legend. Odrin's legend culminates in a marvelous adventure. His great deeds of arms were such that all kings had wonder thereof, and many nobles and commoners came to his encounter, for they wished to see legend in the flesh. And here it was written, New Dublin, 7th of March, 953 AD, let it be told. Now we have the ability to clear ground again, this time for a legendary statue, which we will probably put in Dublin, back in our old capital. So we'll clear the grounds for that. We have the ability to demand local submission. You will have 15 years of access to the demand fealty, Cassius Belli, and you gain fealty demanded for 15 years. All will bow before me. Okay, we can finally choose a new lifestyle focus. I'm definitely going to go medicine for the small boost to health, and we're going to work our way down whole of body just to try and keep Odrin alive long enough. Our personal position is only average. I may actually fire her. This does now cost prestige, but not less of an issue for us, really. Just so that we have the ability to search for a new one in case we can find somebody better. Here we go. Tomnad here is excellent, so we will absolutely recruit them, and we'll have them on advanced research, so we will gain experience in the learning tree quicker, so we can get down whole of body faster. We also have enough gold to commission another legend artifact, which we will definitely do, and we gain another illustrious item called True Hero. We will replace High King Liam's Law and Ordinance with True Hero, and our court, which was once just nothing but 4 stone walls, is looking a lot more regal. I'm also going to increase our spending on court amenities here so we get to the required grandeur level. Our court type is also still tribal. We may want to switch this to administrative, giving us more vassal contribution, building construction time. So I think I will change our court type to administrative, getting rid of our tribal ways. Our court language will stay the same though, and we will lock this in. Now, we're still waiting for our truce with Sweden to end, have about a year or so left to wait. However, they have gained up a lot of their strength, but they are also currently defending in a war of tyranny against this man here who wants the entire kingdom. So our defender here may get deposed, possibly not though. They do look quite a bit stronger on paper. We'll see how this pans out, but either way, ideally this wraps up around the time we are ready to invade and we hit them while they are weak. My wife Sophie has died. This time, however, I'm not gaining stress because Audrin feels he's finally free to start a new life. And not one day too soon, apparently. Fair enough. Ah, of course, another northerner conquest here for Galloway. We'll rally the troops. Thankfully, we didn't declare war yet. I'd much rather get this out of the way rather than have them declare on me in the middle of my war with Sweden. So I'll wait until they show up and then we will go to war with them. Oh, interesting. So, the Northernmen army are looking to siege down Galloway, but they've started over here because they came out of Sweden, and because we now border them, they're just starting over here. Fair enough, we will raise my men over here. Thankfully, I didn't raise them yet, so we should have more than enough time to deal with this. Okay, my men have all grouped up. It's time to meet this main force up here in the hills for this battle. Here we go. That is not a problem for us at all, and we will deal with them handedly. Muslim faiths now have access to jihads, which hopefully we will not have to deal with, but I've seen stranger things happen. There we go. That's the Northerner conquest dealt with. We can disband our men, have them group up again. So at long last, our truce with Sweden is finally gone. They do have inferior strength to us. They're still fighting in this war of tyranny. They are winning though, so once they win that, it shouldn't be an issue for us. Interestingly, they have converted to Catholic. They're no longer a satru, which means a holy war is no longer on the table. But what is on the table, thanks to our legend, is the ability to demand fealty. This way is even better, actually, because we get parts of Sweden that aren't even in the de jure kingdom, and he would end up becoming our vassal. So I'm going to declare this war. Let us call in all of our allies, everybody available to us, and let's see if we can put the final nail in the coffin of what could have become a Scandinavian empire. My men are raised. I'm now going to push down and see if I can make this battle happen. Our allies are still on the way. They should show up relatively soon, but I'm just really hoping I can catch someone here and get a nice decisive battle out of the way. So we've caught this force in behind here, which works for us. I do want to make sure that I fight not only the Red Army here, which is Sweden, but also the Orange Army, which is the attacker in their war of tyranny, because I want to make sure that that war doesn't end up invalidating mine. That is another success. I'm now going to just try and siege my way across to the capital. The bulk of my allies are starting to show up from the south as well, which will be very nice. Now, we have a nice screen somewhat set up here around the capital as we're sieging it down. Other two armies are still sieging things themselves, trying to sort it all out. If we have a look at Sweden itself, we have diminished his progress a lot in the war against tyranny. That's only now a plus 2%, but he's losing decisively to us. We want to make sure that we can just defeat Sweden before that war, that other war, even has a chance. Oh god, what's this? A Liberty War? Yeah, we'll accept. Not going to help though. We want to make sure that we deal with our war first, just to stop anything from getting invalidated or any weirdness happening. So we've just managed to siege down the capital here, taking us to 50% war score. I'm going to continue to branch out from here and just start sieging down everything. So it looks as though the enemy in the war of tyranny are now trying to siege down the capital for themselves. I'm going to move back and try and stop that, because that's a big part of our war goal. Hopefully my allies will either continue sieging or come with me. Alright, the capital has been defended. I am now going to move the rest of my men up here to deal with the rest of Sweden's troops. Here we go. This is the big one. I think they're taking a river crossing here to us as well, so that's happy days for us. Okay, this is perfect. We'll get the last 3k as well. I think that's all of their army now that we are now fighting. That takes us to 90%. Just a few more sieges and we are there. 99%. We just need one tick. One tick and this war is won. There it is. There it is. We will enforce our demands here and we will vassalize King Bjorn of Sweden. We disband all. There we go. Now that is an Ireland I am happy to see. Now it looks like his war of tyranny will still continue, but he should win that. He's at 93%. So that should be fine. He should remain king. And that is Odrin securing his destiny. His main goal was to live up to his father, expand the realm out, fight in his own wars, and he's done that. He's expanded Ireland out almost to make it twice the size now by taking almost all of Scandinavia. We also have the so-called King of Denmark in our prisons here, where we know that he is not the King of Denmark. By right, we should be the King of Denmark, seeing as though Denmark is just this island down here. We will publicly execute him, letting everybody know that we are the true king. That doesn't solve our problem, however, as we still have his son, who is controlling this island here. So we're going to ask him to demand fealty as well, and by ask, I mean go to war. Now this, I've said this should be an easy war, and it hasn't been a lot, but this really should be an easy war. We're going to land our men over here, and this is just so that we can officially take the crown of Denmark as well. Here we go. This shall be Denmark, absolutely dealt with. Perfect. We have 13,000 men on this small little island here. We will siege it down and take what is rightfully ours. That's Denmark taken care of. Now, I still can't revoke the title because we have a truce, but once that truce wears off, I should be able to revoke this kingdom title and then hold it myself or give it to somebody who we deem truly worthy. The Danish are rising up again in rebellion. This time they are joined by none other than the so-called King of Denmark. So we're going to have to go... Whoa, that's a lot of them. Okay, we're going to have to deal with this. I'm probably going to raise my men in the somewhere over here in Denmark and then just try and deal with them piecemeal. And like before, we will call in our allies as well. Oh, and at the exact same time, the King of Sweden has decided that he also wants to be independent. I will say I will not be threatened and will deal with him as well. So the realm has been plunged into what I guess you could call civil war here, with many, many rebels rising throughout our newly conquered lands. This will be Odrin's final test, I think, to finally put an end to this rabble and officially take claim of this land. The real annoying thing about Sweden declaring war on us, however, though, is that that now means that all of the land that we need to move on to get to these rebels is now considered hostile territory. The large group of rebels dealt with, we'll need to continue to push forward, however. The rebels are still largely scattered all around the place, but really I want to try and focus on the war with Sweden. That's the more dangerous one, because we'll lose a huge chunk of land if they are successful. I want to make sure that I deal with them pronto. This is going to be the first battle here. They are reinforcing, but they are separated and will have to take... I think that's some form of river crossing. Maybe not, though. We do have our allies reinforcing as well. Now is not the time for me to be handing out tourniquets, but we'll try and save him. Nope, he died. Bigger things to deal with right now. Sorry about that, my friend. Okay, we managed to capture the capital of Sweden here. That puts us at plus 31%. We're going to push north and try and deal with this little group of rebels as well. Try and just diminish their numbers also. Sweden are moving in at the same time. I really hope that they don't... Oh, this could be interesting if they try and fight us. No, okay, they're backing up. We'll deal with the rebels first and then we'll push into them. The rebels won't reinforce or retreat, but Sweden will. Chances are we're going to deal with the rebels up north here. Sweden will try and take back their capital, and we'll have to fight them again. Okay, there we go. Oh, and that was actually all of the rebels, which means that we can immediately enforce demands here. You, my friend, are getting executed straight away. Sorry about that, but also not sorry. Now we can fully focus on this war with Sweden. We will head back south and try and fight them again. We managed to scare them away from the capital and split them in two. So we'll deal with this smaller force first, and then we'll continue to push across for the other force. And now, while it started off super hectic, this has put quite a bit of shape to things. We are now at plus 63%. I don't believe they have anything else even sieged. Maybe they do over here, actually, but it looks like my allies may try and deal with that if they can. In the meantime, we will keep counter-sieging ourselves and just try and end this as soon as possible. We are at 99% and my ally siege is almost there, at which point we'll finally have dealt with all of the rebels in Scandinavia. There we go. Let's enforce demands. Thank you very much. Disband all. And now, my friend, you are going to get your title revoked. I can't because we have a truce. Again, this keeps screwing me. Alright, fair enough. You know what? We're going to leave him in jail for the time being. Once the truce ends, we can revoke that title and put a Catholic Anglo-Irish man on the throne of Sweden. With that, at long last, there are no more dangerous factions. Scandinavia is fully Irish and everything is right in the world. And with that, this series comes to an end. We started as Liam McDara, starting as a Count in Desmond, growing to become King of all of Ireland and eventually Emperor of both Ireland and England. His son Odrin went on to expand the realm, taking Iceland and the majority of Scandinavia, securing the new Irish Empire. I really hope you all enjoyed this series. I've really enjoyed making it. It's been great to see the channel get a bit of growth off of it as well. Love seeing all of your comments and thank you again for all of your support. Coming up next, in terms of Crusader Kings 3, I definitely want to do a new series where we take a look at everything Chapter 4 has to offer. Definitely want to play in Asia, now that that has been added, as well as seeing all the other new systems and improvements that are in place. Later on then as well, and possibly in tandem, I'd love to do a modded run, something in Elder Kings or Lord of the Rings, something like that. As always, feel free to leave your recommendations in the comments down below. If it's of interest to any of you, I have also started a new series on the channel, which is a RimWorld series. Whether you're new to RimWorld or an experienced player, it also has the storytelling roleplay aspect that this series had. I think it'd be of great interest to you. I'd recommend checking that out. And even if it's brand new to you, it's somewhat of an introductory series too, where I kind of explain through the reason why I'm doing things. So I'd recommend giving it a watch. But as always, really hope you guys enjoyed not only this video, but this series. I am looking forward to the future. And in the long distant future, when hopefully this channel grows and continues to become big, you will all be regarded as OGs for being here during the first ever series. So again, thank you, and I will see you all in the next video.